We've had a great couple of days, the Players Association, having players all around the country from all the clubs come together. It's a rare opportunity for us all to get together as one and talk about all the various issues that players have. Clearly the CBA was discussed internally, and then obviously with the AFL this morning. But importantly, there's a lot of other issues that are discussed that happen at club level, important for the delegates to take back to their own teams and understand the great resource that the PA offer. So we met with the AFL this morning. It was good that they came down and shared their views with us. We would have loved to have seen Gil, had him down here, but do appreciate that Ray and Andrew made the effort. It's at this stage we sort of had some conversations, pretty robust discussion. It was said the players got to voice their opinions, which I think they certainly appreciated. Andrew said to me afterwards how much they liked the fact that they could hear many different voices in the room. But to this stage, we probably haven't heard the reasons why, but we're not negotiating. They probably didn't answer those questions in the light that we would have liked. So there's a bit of work to go. We're ready to have a chat to them. We want to work through this together in a collaborative manner, but at this point, we haven't come to a reason why we can't.
So you haven't gone forward?
I might just get the other boys in.
Where are you guys at with respect to possible strike action? How are you going to bring the AFL to the table?
That's the first thing that everyone wants to go to, and it creates their headlines. That's the absolute last resort that anyone wants to go. We want to sit down and have a chat. We think we can work collaboratively with them. We want to work together on a partnership model that we're aligned with the game. So yeah, okay, I understand that there's noise and always interest in the word strike, but that's the absolute last resort.
Where does it go from here then now if they won't sit down?
Can we just have one at a time?
Sorry, why won't, have they given you an indication as to why they won't sit down with you at this stage?
Not really, no. That's what we were keen to get from them today. Outside of the fact that our proposal they don't like, that's about where it's got to. So we're keen to at least have a conversation about it. It's a negotiation. We're not always going to agree on things, so that's fine. Like we understand that, but the players are really keen to chat to Gil and the guys.
So where have you been left then? You're kind of just waiting for the phone to ring?
Essentially, yeah.
Have you guys backed yourself into a unwinnable corner here, giving the AFL's unwillingness to commit to a percentage-based model?
Well, I'm not sure if they're unwilling to do that. So no.
So the modelling of wanting a set percentage, is that definitely a no-go zone for them, or you don't even know that?
No, it's a negotiation. They've got a view on that. We've got a view on that, and I think together we can come to a final arrangement. But like anything, when I go and buy a house, I put an offer in, I get response. It's my turn to put the offer, my response in. Now, that's how these things normally play out. So we think that's the way it's going to go with the AFL. We're here to negotiate in good faith, and we're looking forward to going down that path.
Can you tell us what do you want to set percentage of?
A defined football revenue. So, and that's relatively complex, but it includes, or excludes, should I say, a number of things like government grants and gaming, club shared services, some Telstra revenue. Paul can talk to that in a much more detail than I can. But we've come to an agreement on that defined football revenue. So there's a lot of things in principle that both the players and the AFL agree on, which is fantastic. It's just now to really work through that together.
Have you got a next set meeting that you're going to actually sit down, and do you think there's actually going to be movement at the next meeting?
Yeah, we're confident we can move, yeah. And they've indicated today that there's a way forward, and we certainly want to move towards a way forward. But at this point in time, as of today, we haven't heard specifically why we can't sit down.
It's anecdotal evidence, but a lot of people think the players are potentially being greedy, perhaps an understanding there's an extra $900 million or $1 billion in the game from the new TV deal. Are you guys doing a good enough job educating, I guess, the footy public on how there's a bigger pie and the percentage with which you're entitled?
It's our role to educate everyone, I guess, about what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a fair and reasonable share. It's quite a small portion of money, really, if you think about what's in the game, and we want to grow with the game or potentially recede with the game. We want a true partnership. So I think that the public understand the sacrifices players make. I think they understand how tough a game it is, and they understand that what we're asking for is a really small percentage of the proportion of money that's in the game.
Matthew, can you give us any indication as to what you're seeking is in terms of a percentage of wage increases or cap increases for the players?
I'm happy to talk about it. I'm not sure if that's the position we should take today. I might throw to Paul to answer that specifically. But it's not really our place to talk about the numbers. This has been a principled discussion with the AFL and a philosophy that we're trying to align ourselves with the game. So I'm confident we'll get there in the end. But this is a considered and pragmatic approach, certainly from our perspective, and it seems that way from the AFL as well. But when we can't get to the negotiating table, when we can't talk, it's sort of leaves us scratching our head a little bit.
Going to Tom's point, a simple number, I know it's complex, but a simple number on how much more you want might help.
Percentage-wise?
Yeah.
I think there'll come a time when we'll talk about that. It's not today. We're looking for, as Pav said, a fair and reasonable deal. And I think the other point I'd make is this is not just about the current players. So our proposal is about past players. The majority of those guys come out of the game with lifelong injuries, behind for us with respect to their career progression. So this is not just about the current players, it's about the past players and various other things, and growing the game, really importantly.
Paul, what did you make of the AFL's presentation this morning?
Yeah, I've probably seen a lot of it before, to be honest. But I think it was good the two guys came down, and they obviously faced some music with the players. The players spoke very passionately about their thoughts here, and look, I think the big thing for us is it's just about respect. Like we get the fact that our proposals are apart at the moment, but there's only one way we're going to get them together, and that's actually sit in a room and work through it. And the players made that point really clearly to the AFL. Let's just get negotiating.
How frustrated were you that Gillen didn't make the trip?
I don't get frustrated easily, so that was his decision.
So what's next, Paul? How do you sit down in a room and get the deal thrashed out?
Well, I think the AFL, I've said before, the ball's in their court. We've put a proposal to them. It's now up to the AFL to come back to us and put whatever proposal they want, but let's sit down and actually work through it. I think they owe it, and we owe it to the game, to the fans, to the players, to the clubs, to try to get this thing done. And it can get done quickly if we all cooperate and get in a room and thrash it out.
Is this hurting the game, the way it's dragged out?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Are the clubs frustrated?
I think there's some frustration. I mean, you'd have to ask the clubs. I'm not in that space. The reality is we do have some time before next season. The game's been disrupted by a number of issues over the last 3 or 4 years, and I think it would be nice for everyone just to get into the new season with this done and dusted, and let's get back to enjoying the footy.
Is this just the usual players? Is this just the usual negotiation argy-bargy every 3 or 4 years that we get, or are we more of an impasse?
What's your view?
In this one?
What's your view? You've seen a few.
I have. I reckon we're about situation normal.
There you go.
But I'm not going to use my grab of my question. So, what do you think? Are we sort of in a normal situation, or are we a bit further sort of at an impasse?
Well, I haven't done the AFL negotiations before, but there's always tension in these things. There's no doubt about that, but it doesn't always have to be. I think, as I said, if we sit down in a room and work through it, we could get it done quickly, and we should be trying to do that.
From an industrial standpoint, Paul, do you feel there might come a time in this negotiation where the players need to sort of put up or shut up from that perspective and actually maybe embark down that path?
Look, I can't predict the future, Tom, but I think, at the end of the day, the players couldn't be any stronger in their view that we need to get a fair deal done here. And our job is to represent the players' views, so we'll do what we need to do to get a fair deal.
I know you say a strike's not where you want to go, but if they continue to not negotiate, is that what's going to push it to potentially moving into that space?
Dane, do you want to answer? There's plenty of action that the players can take before that. I mean, that, as I said before, last resort, there was a number of considerations. Dane, you may want to talk specifically.
Talk about some of those other things.
It's pretty simple. We as players love playing the game, and that's what we want to do. We love playing in front of the fans that we have at our respective clubs, and there's nothing that brings us more joy than enjoying the ride with our fans. But at some stage, we need to get a deal done. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but I'm certainly not saying that it's off the table, because it's been difficult to negotiate. And the AFL have been really difficult in coming to the table and haven't spoken to the PA for the past month. So to get the opportunity today has been wonderful, albeit without the CEO in attendance. And I think internally there was some disappointed players who have flown across the country in order to be here yesterday and today. And we were perhaps looking for a little bit more respect than what we got.
What are those cascading stages of possible action? Like what would you do to begin with to perhaps bring them to the table?
Look, I'm not going to go into detail on what that would be. because at the moment we've spoken about numerous scenarios about what's possible, where it might go, and obviously industrial action is at the very end of that scale, but we haven't put anything off the table so far.
Yeah, so I've got to catch a flight, guys.
Matthew, I realise
Appreciate it.
just on my West Australian newsroom's hassling me about the comment about Shane Yarran and the Cousins situation.
It's not appropriate here. They're dealing with some off-field issues, and as all players tend to do, they can have some incidents where they need to really work through. But yeah, let's sort of stick to what we need to here.
Just a quick one from your point of view as president. Patrick mentioned just then about we would have liked a little bit more respect for Gillen to come. Is that a personal view of Paddy's, or is that the collective view of the group that a little bit of disrespect?
I guess we don't know the reasons why. I mean, he didn't come down. So we've all got personal relationships with Gil. I think the players appreciate what he and the AFL do for the game, but we would have loved to see him here.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, guys.
No for